Hey there, welcome to your practice. My name's Sophie, and today we're doing a full length flow with a focus on twists so that we can have a nice, healthy spine. Grab a block if you have one. If you don't, you can absolutely improvise. We're just going to use it for a few things today. And we're going to go ahead and sit on our block here in Vajrasana. So I'm just showing you, you're putting it long ways and then on the lowest height and sitting back on it with your feet on either sides of the block. And you can always modify or sit in a different way if this is not comfortable for you. Rest your hands on your thighs with your palms facing up. Bring your shoulders back and down a little bit as you lengthen your spine and bring your chin down ever so slightly. Option to close your eyes. Take note of where in your body you are tensing or holding, where there's any pain or sensation. And internally or maybe externally, smile at whatever it is that you are feeling, just with full acceptance. And bring your awareness to your breath and notice how your breath is doing today. Bring your awareness to your collarbones and soften as you also widen along the front of the chest. Soften the jaw. Soften the eyebrows. Can you get rid of any little wrinkles around the eyes? So there's total relaxation of the face, disengagement of the muscles. And if, with your hands, your palms flipped up, notice, are you engaging your fingers or your hands at all? Can you relax those? Bring your awareness to the crown of your head, the very top of the head, and visualize an open, porous area on the top of the head. Like as if you could just take in everything that falls into the crown of the head, the air, the space around you. So there's this feeling of openness, of receiving. And perhaps you visualize golden light pouring in through the crown of the head. Filling the whole body with light, golden luminescence. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Breathe in through your nose. Hold at the top and exhale. One more breath in and all the way out. Simply drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Bring your head back to center. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. And bring your head back to center. Chin down to your chest. Notice if you feel sensation more on one side of the back of the neck versus the other. Can you release the muscles of your belly, especially on the inhale? And bring the head back up to center. Blink the eyes open if they're not already open and reach the arms up. Interlace your hands and keep your thumbs and index fingers together pointing for Kali Mudra, and then lift the shoulders up, up, up by your ears as you lengthen through your torso, and then take a side bend to the right. Back up to center. Side bend to the left. Back up to center. Separate your arms in cactus and back bend. Squeeze your shoulders back and even make a W with your elbows. So you can allow your elbows to come down and back for this one. Reach the arms back up and release the arms down by your sides. Take 3 shoulder rolls back. And make your way into tabletop. You can just set the block if you have it at the front of the mat so that it's accessible later. And walk the hands back a little bit towards your knees and then come onto the backs of the hands with your fingers facing each other and open and close your fists. 3, 2, 1. Turn the hands back around. Walk your hands out in front of you for puppy pose. Drop your chest or forehead to the earth. Wrap the armpits towards each other so there's a little bit of a lift of the elbows off of the ground. Crawl the fingers a little further forward. Good. Then slide yourself back up to tabletop. Reach the left arm up. So you're twisting open to the left. And then weave your left arm through to the right. Walk your right fingertips forward. Now you can stay here, or you can tuck your right toes, straighten out your right leg as you extend the heel back. Option to also reach the right arm up, and option to bring the right arm behind you into a half bind. So this pressure into the left shoulder, into the ground, helps us twist even more to the right. And we're breathing into the twist, into the rotation of the spine. Into all of those muscles. There's a lot of muscles that surround the rib cage and the torso, protecting all of those organs inside of you. And through twists, we get to stretch those muscles, give them some relief. Reach the right arm back up if it's behind you. Plant it down onto the ground. Put the right knee down. And then lift the left arm back up to where you started. All the way up and take 3 circles in one direction with your wrist. And then other direction. And then set your left hand back down. Then lift your right arm up to the sky. Weave your right arm through to the left. Set the shoulder down. Crawl the left fingertips forward. Option to extend the left leg back. Maybe you lift your left arm up and take a half bind. As you pour the weight into your right shoulder. Where's your breath? Lift your left arm back up. Set your left hand back down, left knee down, and sweep your right arm all the way up. And we stay here to take those wrist circles 3 times in each direction. And set your right hand back down onto the ground. Now turn your hands out and around to face your knees. Tuck your toes and shift front to back. Take 2 circles to the right and 2 circles to the left. And turn the hands back around to face forward. Tuck your toes and lift your knees an inch off of the ground. And wrap both sides of your torso towards the center. So we're really engaging through the core by hugging in towards center. Hugging in, pressing into the ground with the hands. for 3. The knees are just an inch off the ground. 2. And 1, set them down. Good. Extend your right leg straight back, lifting it off of the ground, and extend your left arm forward. Bend your right knee. Reach back with your left hand and grab onto your foot. Tiger pose. Kick the foot into the hand, broaden through the chest, spaciousness through the chest. 1 more breath. Re-extend the arm and leg, then set the left hand down onto the ground and step your right foot outside of your right hand, coming into lizard. Slide your back leg back and tuck your toes and lift your back knee off of the ground. Then slide the right shoulder underneath the right leg, moving your right hand out to the right, fingers tented, left hand out to the left. Either stay here or lift your arms up, or take a bind. Clasp your hands together for that bind. Shift your weight forward and really keep your engagement in your legs so that you can lift through your chest a little bit more. So your back thigh is really engaged. That's going to keep you steady. Good. Now open your arms back up. Set the hands back down. Plant the hands down onto the ground. Put the back knee down. Slide your right foot between your hands and come into half splits. And then come into low lunge. We're just going back and forth a few times. Straighten and bend. Straight and bend. 1 more time. Straighten and bend. And then we'll go back to half splits and stay there. Stay right there, and either keep your hands here or you can bring your hands over to the right side of your right leg as you lift and anchor your right hip back. Leaning forward, hinging at the hips and reaching through your chest forward so you have a long spine. And bring the awareness to the breath. Be fully immersed in all of this sensation, particularly the back of the right leg. What micro adjustments can you make? Okay, bring your hands back to frame your front foot. Bend the knee, come into low lunge, the back knee lifts, and then supported warrior 3. So you can put your fingertips on the block in front of you, or you can have your fingertips on the ground. Anchor your left hip down more. Draw your right hip back. And for today, flex the left foot so the left pinky toe is facing the ground. Crown of the head reaches forward so your neck is long. You're kind of looking down. Good. Take another breath here as you extend your left heel back. And then put your right hand, keep your right hand on the ground or on the block, and open up into half moon. So your hips are coming into an external rotation. Left arm lifts up. Left leg lifts up. Can you anchor your left hip towards the back of the mat a little bit more to create more length? Good, then we'll come into standing splits. So put both hands back down, legs coming back into neutral rotation. Lift that left leg up. Let your head drop down. Inhale, exhale, feet together, forward fold at the front of the mat. Let's take ragdoll. So take your feet a little wide, grab onto your elbows. Rock a little side to side. Grab onto your elbows the other way with the other arm in front. Maybe shake it out. Maybe you interlace your hands behind the back of the neck to encourage a little more lengthening of the neck and decompression of the cervical spine. And then release your hands down. Roll up to stand. Shoulders back and down. Feet hip distance. Reach your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Forearm plank. Go really slow, as if you have something on your back and you don't want it to fall. Lower your hips down into Sphinx. Keep your toes untucked, so toenail side of the feet on the ground. And lift your hips off the ground. Again, wrap your core into the center. Press the hands firmly down. Press the feet into the ground. Keep lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, slowly lower down, back into Sphinx. Option for seal by lifting your elbows off the ground. Come back down onto the forearms. Tuck your toes. Lift up into forearm plank. Then rise up into a high plank. Chaturanga, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths in down dog, our first down dog of the day. Then set your knees down on the ground. Extend your left leg back and your right arm forward. Really reach, reach, reach. Then bend the left knee, reach the right hand back, grab onto the foot, and kick up. Re-extend the arm and leg. Set the right hand down on the ground. Step your left foot outside of the left hand for lizard. You're going to slide your back leg back, keeping the toes tucked, lifting the back thigh. Slide the left shoulder under the left leg, fingertips tented out to the sides. Option to lift your arms up. Option to clasp. Can you lift your chest a little bit higher? Can you bend your left knee a little more? Open the arms back up. Set your hands down on the ground. Back knee comes down. Slide your left foot to the left. Straighten out your left leg. Rebend the left knee and straighten. Bend. Straight. Bend. And straight, stay here. Lift and lengthen the spine. Either stay or bring both hands over to the left. That will make the stretch a little bit deeper. Again, where are those little micro adjustments? For me, it has to do with kind of moving the pelvis, shifting the right hip forward and the left hip back, and then vice versa. Let's take one more breath here. Bring your hands back to frame your front foot. Bend your left knee. Lift your back knee up off of the ground and come into supported warrior 3. Hand could be on block or hands on the ground. Left hip draws back, right foot flexes. Gaze is down, so the crown of the head, the top of the head is reaching forward. Ribs draw in towards the spine. Remember, you're just on your fingertips. And then keep your left hand down on the ground or on a block and open into half moon. You broaden your wingspan. Lift your right arm up a little higher. Again, keeping the lower ribs a little bit knitted in. And then bring both hands to the ground, standing splits. So as you're squaring your hips and dropping the right hip down, you're also lifting your right leg. Drop the head, relax the neck. And then bring the feet together. This time, feet are just a couple inches apart from each other, and you're folding deeply, maybe wrapping the arms around the backs of the legs, or any other fold that feels good to you. Wherever you are, can you shift your weight into your toes a bit? 2 more breaths. Let's slowly rise up to stand and reach the arms up. Bring your hands to your heart and arms down by your sides. Reach the arms up again. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Forearm plank, one at a time, onto the forearms. Lower the hips down for Sphinx. Then keeping the toes untucked. Again, we go into that weird plank, lifting the hips up. So it just makes it a lot harder when we don't have the stability of the toes tucked. Holding here. And just notice what comes up mentally, the stories we tell ourselves when we really don't want to be somewhere. But stay with me. This strengthening is so good for our bodies. For 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, come down to the ground. Sphinx, maybe seal pose again. Straightening those arms, dropping the head back. Getting that nice back extension. Lower back down onto the forearms. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips off of the ground. And then we'll come up onto our hands slowly. Lower down for chaturanga, and we're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2. Upward facing dog on 1. And downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Keep drawing the left hip back though, so you don't lean too much into the left side. Then straighten the right leg back out. Square your hips. This part's important. Really square so you feel that sensation on the outer left leg. And then bring your right knee to your right upper arm. Inhale, bring it back to 3-legged dog. And bring the right knee to your left upper arm. Hold here. Then bring the right knee to the right upper arm and to the left. And to the right, left, right. 3-legged dog. Lift it up. Inhale. Step your foot between your hands on your exhale. Warrior 2. Spread your wings. Spread your fingers apart from each other in Warrior 2. And we'll go to side angle. Right forearm on right thigh and left arm over the ear. Right hand to the ground or to a block. Option for a bind here or wherever you'd like to go. Remember that everything is an option. You decide what serves you best today. If you have a bind, you'll open it back up. It will rise back up to Warrior 2. Flip your right palm, reverse warrior. Keep that bend in the front knee. Okay, now we'll go back to Warrior 2 and straighten the right leg and come into triangle pose. Right hand on shin or a block. I love a block for triangle on the highest height, on the outside of the leg. Left arm up. Instead of cranking your left hip back, if that's what you're used to doing, think about softening that left hip and even angling it down a little bit. Draw the right hip back as you do that. So you can feel this sort of internal rotation of that left hip. And then the chest opens. So you're opening towards the ceiling with your torso as your left hip is kind of staying where it is. Look down at the ground. We're going to come into lizard. So you're going to put your hands inside of your right foot. Move your right foot out to the right. Put your left knee down onto the ground and open your right knee out. Enjoy that stretch. I like to put my right hand on the inner right thigh. If that feels good to you, do it as well. Left shoulder draws back. You're kind of pushing the right thigh away from you and actively push down into the top of your left foot, your back foot. Option to bend your back knee and maybe grab a hold of the foot. Release the foot if you have it and bring the hands down to the ground and lift your back knee up off of the ground. And then you're going to lift your right foot off the ground and bring the knee to your upper arm. Hold it there. Now lower down for chaturanga with your knee at your upper arm and then come back up. Three-legged dog. Lift your right leg all the way back up and set your foot down onto the ground. Now shift forward into plank. Keep your toes tucked, drop your hips. So you're coming into up dog and you really need to keep your thighs engaged here. Inhale, then back to down dog. Exhale. Lift your left leg up. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Relax your head. Shake it out. Straighten the left leg back out. Square the hips. Point the toes. Make sure your breath is still prominent. Bring the left knee to the left upper arm. Bring it back. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to right upper arm. Now hold it here. Bring it to the left, to the right. Left, right, left. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your foot between your hands on your exhale. Warrior two. Land. Side angle. Forearm on thigh, right arm over the ear. And then bring that left hand down to the ground or to the block. Bend deep into your front knee so you get that angle so that your right hip isn't hiked up too high there. Really reach your right arm forward. Spread your toes. Option for a half bind or a full bind. I almost forgot that part. If you have the bind, open up warrior two and then reverse warrior. Keep the bend in the front knee even though it might feel pretty fiery right now. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten the left leg. For triangle, I like to make my stance a little bit shorter. Do what feels best for you. Left hand down, right arm up, perhaps that block if you're using it. If not, hand on the shin. Press into the block, lengthen again. Stay where you are, but just finding those little adjustments to broaden. Look down at the ground. Bring your hands down inside of your left foot. Lizard. Put your back knee down, untuck your back toes, and open your left knee to the left. Option to put your left hand on your inner left thigh if you did that before. So I also like this variation because it is involving the spine into a rotation, into a twist. Option to bend your back knee and grab onto your foot. Release the foot down to the ground. Bring your hands down. Lift your back knee. Plant the hands and then left knee into left upper arm and hold. Chaturanga with the knee there. You got it. Back up to plank. Three-legged dog. Set your foot down. Shift into plank. Up dog with the toes still tucked. Back to down dog. Breath in and out. Look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Lift up halfway and fold forward. Inhale, stand and reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to your heart, arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms back up. Cactus the arms back, bend, slight bend to the knees. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Plant the hands, step or hop back to chaturanga or plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. And bring your right knee to your left upper arm. And then you're going to extend the leg out to the side. Maybe grab a hold of the outer edge of the foot, or you can set the foot down for fallen triangle. If you're holding that foot, maybe you try to reach the foot towards the front of the mat. It's okay if it doesn't go very far. Good. Then we're going to go back to three-legged dog. Plant the hands and lift that leg up. And step your right foot between your hands. Low lunge. Set your back knee down onto the ground and reach your arms up. Open arm twist to the right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Now here's the challenge. Can you stand up while keeping the arms open and the spine twisted to the right? Right hand onto the back of the left thigh. Left arm could go up and maybe back a little bit, but no need to push it here. Just a little bit of extension in the spine, a bend in that front knee. Good. Open the arms back up. Palms together. So we're already rotated. Lean forward and twist even more, hooking the elbow. Shift your weight forward so you're just on the ball of your back foot. Option to split your arms here. You can also take a bind here. It's a little harder than the side angle bind, but if you want to go for it, you can. Clasping the hands behind you. If it's not there, no worries. I know it can feel frustrating, but just let it go. Took me a long time to be able to get the bind here. A lot of frustration. Couple breaths here. Wherever you are, breathe into it. Full acceptance of where you are. So if you have that bind, you'll open the arms, bring the hands back together, and then we'll come into a high lunge and reach the arms up. Step your back foot up and in, straighten your legs, setting up for pyramid. Take your arms back behind you, interlace your hands, and roll your shoulders back. Hips are facing forward. Fold over your right leg. You can do any arm variation you want, otherwise you're doing this interlaced with me. Let your head drop down, draw your right hip back more. Can you keep your palms closer together? Spread your toes. Good, now we'll lift up halfway and put the hands onto the ground. Keep the left fingertips down, reach the right arm up as you rotate into your your revolved triangle. A block can be really useful here too. If you have a block, you can put it on the outer edge of the left foot. Reach your right arm a little higher, right hip back a little more, and then bring your hands down to the ground. Standing splits. We lift that left leg up. Good. Now we'll bring the left knee towards the right knee and grab onto the outer edge of the left foot. Some of you know where this is headed, baby grasshopper. So you're going to straighten your left leg out to the right and lock out the knee, and then bend into your right knee and look forward. Your left fingertips are on the ground to support you. Your chest is lifting. Good, then we'll come back up to standing splits. All the way up to the sky. And then left foot is going to come forward into a pistol squat. Sorry for those of you that don't like pistol squat. If you lack ankle mobility in that right leg, then this can be extra challenging. So just know it doesn't mean that you're not strong. Hands to your heart if you can, or hands onto the ground. Good. We're going to try to stand up. Go all the way up, maybe no hands. I failed at that just now. And then bend your left knee. Grab onto the outer edge of the left knee with the right hand and reach the left arm back behind you. So you're rotating. Option to grab onto the outer edge of the foot and extend the leg forward. Revolved hand to big toe. Okay, now we're going to go from here into a revolved half moon. So you're going to let go of the foot, rotate to the right, left hand comes down to the ground, left leg goes back, and you can also put your left hand on a block. Option to bend your back knee and grab onto your foot for a revolved half moon. Re-extend your leg, reach your right arm up, and put your right hand to the ground and step back into low lunge. Plant your hands, step back into one-legged plank. Extend your left arm forward if you feel like getting extra spicy. Hold for 3, 2, on 1. Put your hand and foot down, come all the way to the ground. Let's lift up for locust pose, friends. Reach back. Reach your legs back. This is so good for the back body. Finding that strength. Good. Lower everything down. Plant your hands down. Tuck your toes and press up to plank. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Bring your left leg to your right upper arm. And then roll onto the heel of the right foot. Extend your left leg forward. You can grab onto the outer edge of the foot. Option to extend it towards the front of the mat. Or you can put your whole foot on the ground for fallen triangle. For 3, 2, 1. 3-legged down dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Put your back knee down and reach your arms up. And then take your left arm back, right arm forward for an open arm twist. Okay, we'll keep the arms here. Lift the knees up, the back knee up. And either stay or put your left hand on the back of your right thigh and maybe lean back a little bit for a slight back bend. Still twisting to the left. Can you get your left shoulder back a little more? Then open the arms, back up. Bring your hands together, keep that twist. Really feel the engagement of your abdomen as you're twisting. Option to lean forward, hook your elbow over your knee. Breathe. Find gratitude in this moment, even though it's hard. Option to split the arms. And then option for that half bind or full bind. Really lifting your back knee, shifting your weight forward. And we'll open the arms back up, bring the palms together, and then come to center and high lunge. Step your back foot up and in, straighten your legs, setting up for pyramid. Take your arms wide. Hands behind you, interlace. Maybe do the opposite interlace. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, fold over your left leg. On your exhale. Release your arms down, lift up halfway. We're going to rotate to the left for a revolved triangle. You could bring your block. Now, when I go into this revolved triangle, I step my right foot a little further back. That, to me, feels like I have more space to twist. So find what works for your body. Maybe it's the same. And pressing down into your left big toe mound of your left foot. And then we'll bring the hands down to the ground and we'll come into standing splits again. Bring the right knee towards the left knee. Grab onto the outer edge of the left foot. So you're holding onto the top of the foot and then the pinky toe side. And then straighten the leg out for baby grasshopper. Sit low and look forward. If you fall over, it's okay. Just get back up. Smile with your chest and then smile with your face. So we're bringing joy into the practice and a lightheartedness. And we'll go back to standing splits. We'll lift the leg all the way up. And then we'll bring the right knee back into the left knee again and pistol squat, right leg out in front of you. Either hands can stay on the ground for balance or hands to your heart as you lengthen your spine. And then just play around and see if you can stand all the way up here. Leg comes all the way out. Bend the right knee once you stand. Twist to your right. So standing hand to big toe. So you can either keep holding onto the knee or you can grab onto the foot and you can extend the leg forward. And we're going to make our way into revolved half moon. So bend the knee, let go of the foot. Right hand to the ground or to a block. And left arm up. I definitely find this much more accessible with the block. Rotate a little more with your chest. And then option to bend the knee and grab on to the foot. Kicking the foot into the hand and lifting and rotating. There's a lot going on here. Embrace it all with the breath. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Re-extend the leg and the arm. Put both hands down to the ground and we'll step back to low lunge. Plant the hands, step back to one-legged plank. Reach the right arm forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank. Lower all the way to the ground. Lift up for locust. Option to go to bow. Bend the knees, grab onto the feet. One more breath. And then we're going to relax everything to the ground. So you can use your hands as a pillow if you'd like and wiggle out your hips. Notice your breath. Perhaps you're breathing heavily like I am. And just let it start to slow down on its own time. And then we'll rise up onto the hands. Tuck the toes. So plant the hands under your elbows, tuck your toes, lift your thighs, press up to plank, and downward facing dog. Now let's set the knees down. We're going to go to a frog pose here. You're going to take your knees nice and wide. Feet flex, the ankles are like right behind the knees and parallel. And bring your forearms down. Let your head relax. Maybe you put your whole chest down. This is really up to you. This isn't an official yoga pose, just a really nice deep stretch. So however you do it, as long as it's not hurting you, is good. One more breath. Let's rise up onto the hands and slide the knees in slowly. Such a good stretch. And we'll come into a seat. Ooh, take the legs out in front of us. And then Gomukhasana. So let's do left leg on top of right leg for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Stacking those knees directly on top of each other, feet out wide. Arms out wide. And let's take the right arm underneath the left arm. Really reach the arms forward and up. Now we'll unwind the arms, walk the hands out in front of us, and drop the head so that we get a little bit more deeper of a hip stretch. Walk the hands back up. Switch the cross of your legs. Arms out wide. Left arm under right arm. Unwind your arms. Walk your hands forward and let the head drop. Follow your breath with your mind. Walk the hands back up. Unwind the legs, take your feet wide, and drop your right knee in and down. Switch sides. Drop the left knee in. And bring the knee back up. Take your legs straight out in front of you. Reach your arms forward. Fold forward. Take several deep breaths here. Really make this pose count. How can you be here even a little more? Can you flex the feet a little more? Can you reach forward a little more with your chest? One more deep breath. And then slowly rise on up. Make your way onto your back and bring your knees into your chest. And rock a little side to side. And thank yourself for showing up to your practice. The physical part is over. And now for the most important part, where it all comes together. Where we get to just exist in our bodies. Release everything down to Shavasana. Take up space. Bring your shoulders a little closer together on your back. And let your palms and your heels be very heavy. Relish in this exquisiteness of just pure awareness. Being instead of doing. And begin to bring movement into your fingers and toes. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll to one side, and press yourself up to a seat. Bring your palms together at your heart, and let's bow together in gratitude for this practice. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.